Hey guys, I'm Oxy, and in this video I'm gonna teach you how to do more damage in Elden Ring. I'm gonna explain you everything that you need to know about damage scaling and how to boost your damage overall. Now for the purpose of this video I'm gonna use three weapons. The first one is one of the legendary armament, the Sword of Night and Flames. Why? Because this weapon is doing three type of damages: physical, magic and fire damage. Another weapon that I'm gonna use is the Giant Crusher, and another legendary armament, the Dark Moon Greatsword. Let's start with the Sword of Night and Flames. As you can see, this one is split between three type of damages: physical, magic and fire. All three of them can be boosted. Now when you look at the attribute scaling, you can see that this one have a descaling for strength and dex, which is really bad, but have a B scaling for intelligence and faith, which is really good. So if you don't know how attribute scaling work in this game, well, S scaling is the highest one. After we have A scaling and B scaling. So those three are the best one. S, A, and B. Now you can get a better scaling on your weapon if that weapon, which is scaling with intelligence and faith, as you can see the Sword of Night and Flames as example, if you have those stats at the soft cap. So right now on this character I do have 60 intelligence and 55 faith. The soft cap for both of those attributes it's 80. So if I would get 80 on those attributes on my character, I'm gonna get probably an A scaling in intelligence and faith, which is gonna boost my damage. Now, if we going to the Giant Crusher, as you can see, this one have S scaling, which is the highest scaling. But when you look at my character, you can see that I do have 80 strength, which is the soft cap for strength. Also, when you look at the Giant Crusher, you can see that this weapon scales only with strength. That's it. Only needs 60 strength. So if you boost your strength, you can boost the damage with this one. But when we're going back to the Sword of Night and Flames, you can see that this one require much more stuff in order to wield it. You need strength, intelligence, dex, and faith. But it's only scaling really well with intelligence and faith. So another good example would be the Dark Moon Great Sword. If you look at this, it's a great sword, right? So you would think it's doing really good physical damage, but it doesn't. If you look at the scaling, have descaling in strength and descaling in dex, which is really bad. But when you look at the intelligence, have B scaling in intelligence. And when you look at the attributes required, you can see that this one is gonna scale really well with intelligence because does require 38 intelligence just in order to wield it, to use the special attack. This is another type of weapon which is split between two type of damages, physical and magic, but it's really a much more better magic type of weapon. So if you want to boost the damage for this one, you're gonna need more intelligence. Another good way to boost your damage is gonna be with talismans. As you can see right now, I do have the Godfrey Icon talisman equipped, which enhance charge spells and skills. Skills are the special attacks that you are doing with your weapon, which the Sword of Night and Flames does have. But keep in mind, this one only enhances the charge spells and skills. Now, when you look at the Sword of Night and Flames and his special attack, as you can see, it's taking him about 2 seconds to charge up the attack and shoot. That is the magic attack. But we have another special attack, which is the fire one. As you can see, this one also takes time to charge up and after do the attack. So both of the attacks are charge skills. So for this scenario, the Godfrey Icon Talisman is really the perfect one. Enhanced charge spells and skills. The Sword of Night and Flames does have 2 charge attacks. If we're going even to the Giant Crusher, you can see that I have the Royal Knight Result Ash of War on it, which is a charge skill. If we go into the Dark Moon Greatsword, and he does have the Moonlight Greatsword special attack, it's again a charge skill. Another good way to boost your damage is using talismans that they just boosting your damage overall. This one is the Shard of Alexander, greatly boosts the attack power of skills. The skills are the special attacks that you're doing with your weapon. Again, the Sword of Night and Flames, you could see the special attacks. And if we go into the Giant Crusher, you can see that on this one I have an Ash of War. That's a skill, that's a special attack. It's gonna be boosted by Shard of Alexander. So we're gonna get even more damage. Now, when we're going to the next talismans, I do have the Magic Scorpion Charm and the Fire Scorpion Charm. One is boosting magic attacks and the other one is boosting fire attacks, which we are both doing with the Sword of Night and Flames. But keep in mind that both of them lower damage negation. So my best advice is when your weapon is split between 2 damage types, only pick one, right? And I'm not talking about such as this one, the Dark Moon Greatsword, because it's doing physical damage and magic damage. You're not gonna try to boost the physical damage on this sword because it doesn't have a good scaling for strength. You're gonna boost the magic attack, which is intelligence. The same thing with the Sword of Night and Flames. You're gonna want to boost the magic or the fire. Just pick one, which one you think is much more useful for you. For me personally, I prefer the laser type of attack with the Sword of Night and Flames. I use it much more than the fire attack. So only pick all the time to boost one with your talismans, because usually talismans that are boosting magic, fire, holy, or lighting attacks, they're gonna have a negative effect. Another really good way to boost your damage is with the Flask of Wondrous Physics. If you look at the mixed status that I have on this one is boosting fire damage and one is boosting magic damage, which we are doing with the Sword of Night and Flames. So you see where we're going with all this? So first we have the Godfrey Icon, is doing extra damage if you're doing charge spells or skills, which we are doing with the Sword of Night and Flames. Shard of Alexander boosting the special attacks, which we are doing. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm and the Fire Scorpion Charm. We're doing both type of damages. And in the Flask of Wondrous Physics, even more boosting. So we are just keep boosting, but we are not done yet. We didn't even use spells or incantations. Now when it's about spells and incantations, there is really 3 of them that I do use. If your weapon is doing magic damage, you can use Terra Magica, which is basically a seal that is boosting your magic attacks. You just need to stay in this seal all the time. Now when we go into incantations, we do have Golden Vow, which is overall boosting damage negation and damage. But also we do have here Flames Grant Me Strength. And guess what this one is boosting? Physical attacks and fire attacks. Which again, we are doing with the Sword of Night and Flames. So you see where we're going with all this? There's just so many buffs that you can apply to do so much damage. And this is it. This is everything that you need to know about damage, damage scaling, and how to boost your damage in Elden Ring. The most important thing is to focus on your main damage type. If it's fire, if it's lighting, if it's boosted by intelligence, dexterity, or strength, you need to focus on that one to get the maximum damage out of it. And after, you can apply buffs such as the incantations, the spells, and the talismans, which they are just boosting your damage further and further. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like this kind of videos, you know what you need to do. and see you guys in the next one.